Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Brand new Mindset and Motivation Monday. Looking forward to sharing with you this specific topic, all based around how you and I are the product of our habits. Now, the nice thing is this: they can lead us exactly to the life that we want, but unfortunately, it can also work in reverse. So whenever I share this as information, seminar, webinar, or just talking with people, it's a really heavy topic at first, right? Because when you think about like, oh, well, if I am my habits and my life is a product of my habits, that means that if things aren't going well, that's my responsibility. And a lot of times we're not ready for that type of responsibility. It's very heavy. It's like, well, you might not be ready to change right now. You might not feel able to change, and I totally get it. But I just want you to know that really acceptance of anything is that first part to change. It is that first rung on the ladder. And I'm not even saying that you need to change today any of those habits, because it might not be the right moment for you. But the more that you can continue to assimilate the information that our life is a product of our habits. That includes our thoughts and our actions and our every moment in time. We're the sum of that. And so we try to have better actions and better thoughts and better relationships and better things in our life that leads us to a better life. And then the more negative things that creep in, which inevitably a little bit happens to all of us, it starts to set us back a little bit. So if we're more aware, we're more cognizant of that is how our life is literally formed. It's not happening necessarily to us, but instead through us, we can start to make little decisions step by step. So the first part is really just saying, okay, I understand. I am responsible for my life. And it is heavy. And I get that. But it's a good first step, because here's the nice thing. When you achieve what you want to achieve, you are also responsible for that as well. Now, again, I leave inside of this equation, I totally understand God and however you like to think about God and creator and all that. So I'm not discounting all of that, but I do believe that we were given this life to make something of it, right? To live to our highest potential that we've been given. And a lot of that comes from the habits, which are essentially the actions that we take day in and day out. Now, we can take all sorts of different actions, but I'm talking about the ones that we do day in and day out. They're part of our routine. They're part of the habitual patterns that make up our life. So you can also say, well, I wasn't afforded the education that others have, or, lived in the right era growing up, or made the right connections. And I get that as well. And I understand that, because sometimes though, where we do grow up and the people that we do meet influence our habits. But we also know individuals who grew up with maybe very wealthy and lots of connections, all of those things, and they actually led to what? Well, more of a dismal-based life that we wouldn't necessarily want to copy either. So sometimes there's an advantage of starting out a little ahead in certain areas, and sometimes maybe there isn't. Maybe you don't have the same drive, the same ambition that you would not have if you started in those positions. So what I like to say is this, is that regardless of where you're starting life and starting this moment in time, that you're able to make that change, and that's okay. And all change does come through what we are looking to achieve. So the good news is that we can create new habits, but we want to form those habits based on not an arbitrary goal, but rather one that we actually want to move towards. Because each and every day, at least subconsciously, we are moving towards a goal. Subconsciously, we might have a fear-based mindset. And so we're actually moving away from things that we even feel, or at least say out loud, that we want to have. But we know deep down that there's a fear of failure or a fear of maybe success. And I have different shows on that talk about that. So what we want to do is to first get very clear in what it is that we do want. And I always allow people to say, okay, like what you believe that you want it, but you don't necessarily know you can achieve it yet. Okay, put that out there in the distance. But for now, what's a little bit before that? What's a goal that you would need to walk past on your journey to achieving your ultimate success? All right, let's move for that one, right? Like, let's go for that. And then in order to achieve that goal, what will we need to do? And you might say, well, I don't know what I would need to do. Okay, think outside of you. What would someone, not you, but what would someone else need to do on a day in and day out basis? What would they need to do in order to achieve that goal? And then it makes it easier, because it's not you. I have to do this with myself all the time. Like if I get back my labs and there's anything that I want to work on, say, okay, not you. What would you do for one of your private wellness clients? Like, oh, okay, that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, that's what I would do. Oh, okay, you're overtraining. Oh, I'm not overtraining, trying to talk yourself out of it. Okay, or you're not training enough. Okay. And so we kind of go through those things, but what would you tell someone else? And so what I would say is this, that is how you're going to develop those habits. But we have to choose those habits wisely, because that is what's going to become the routines of our day. Now, if we do really say and want what we are thinking we do, now, of course, we want to do those habits. We might not want to take the actions, but our why now becomes that big goal. So we can say every time we don't want to do the thing like eat some of our vegetables or walk those 7,500 to 10,000 steps a day or do any of those things, we say, okay, yeah, I don't necessarily want to, but I want the end result. I want a healthier, happier life, one that I can grow old with, seeing my kids and grandkids and just not having the aches and pains of older age, like all those things. Okay, that's a strong why. So it leads you then to the habits of today. I'm going to do my, intermittent fast from 6 at night to 8 in the morning. Then I'm going to have a nice, healthy breakfast. I'm going to have coffee if I have coffee after breakfast. I'm going to go for my walk. You're going to do all the things as part of your regimen, right? For your habit-based regimen. Now, do any of these habits guarantee an outcome? No. But over a long enough time horizon, most likely you will hit it. And that is because if you are constantly walking in one direction, you will ultimately get to your goal. It might take some individuals longer than others, but you'll get there. It really depends on how long you stop and rest, right? Or how slow the pace is, or do you take any steps backwards? That's truthfully it. If you're full speed ahead, don't burn out, but if you're full speed ahead, focused, and that's why I say tunnel vision. So you can't have a million goals, because how can you really focus on that one thing? You can't have a million habits. So what are the habits that you're going to do that keep you laser focused on your big why? Put your why up on a Post-it note in your bathroom mirror so that you see it every morning. Whenever you use the bathroom, you see it before bed. Keep it there. It's what you're focused on. That's your why. But those aren't your habits. Now, your habits are your daily routine. Okay, you want to get in great shape. You want to get healthy. You want to do all those things. Okay, well, here are the 3 meals or so that I'm going to have per day. These are the veggies. This is the protein. These are healthy fats that I'm going to eat. This is the time I carved out for my exercise, more days than not. I'm going to get in my daily walking. I'm going to run my, big 5 labs once a year. I'm going to run my blood work once a year. I'm going to do all the things that I need to do for my health. Great. And then I'm going to allow my habits to carry me through on a daily basis. So that is the amazing thing, is that once we begin to work the plan then works for us, because we can't reach the goal without doing the things that ultimately get us there. Because again, if it was that easy, everybody would have it. And sometimes they get it by mistake, or they get it by accident, or they fell into it. And do they ever hold on to it? No. Because they didn't create those long-lasting habits. That's why also when a client asks me like, well, when do I get to stop all of this? Well, you don't actually get to stop all of this, right? What you do get to stop is like a heavy metal detox or a CBO protocol for the gut or those types of, yeah, those things are stopped because you get better, you get balanced. But you don't get to stop doing your 7,500 to 10,000 steps per day. You don't get to stop eating healthy. Do you get to have cheat meals, flex meals? Yes, of course. But you don't get to stop eating healthy the majority of the time, right? You don't get to stop moving your body for 30 minutes or so per day. So what I'm sharing with people is that we need to also start to fall in love with the process, that the habits become part of our day, not our whole day. Like we still get to enjoy life in whatever aspect we want. And I would also argue that you're going to start to really enjoy your new habits, because your new habits are going to lead you closer to that what you want, ultimately achieving it. And achieving it, if it was a really big goal of yours, begins to make you even a little bit more happy, right? Because you saw the path you were on, you noticed the growth in the person that you had to become to ultimately achieve the thing that you said you always wanted. And the other amazing part is this: you've changed in the process. You have even bigger goals because you have even greater confidence. And those bigger goals then require what? A little bit different habits. Maybe not crazy, but you've already built the discipline of creating those new habits. So always keep in mind that these habits are always working for us and we're always using them every single day, but they can work in reverse. So if you're not getting what you want in your relationships or your overall spirituality or your health or your body transformation or your career or finances or anything else, it is the habits that we have adopted from others or believed deep in our heart from when we were growing up, whatever might be in our subconscious mind, that has led us to where we are today. New goals or same goal with different habits will allow us to get where we want. Because again, the goal might be the same, but the habits have to change. And when the habits change, so does your life. It's been one of the most amazing things that I've been able to see in my own life and the lives of so many of my clients, and I wanted to pass it on to you. So hopefully this was helpful. Choose your goals wisely, choose your habits even more wisely, and I have no doubt that you're going to be able to step into that life you've always wanted. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll talk with you tomorrow on a brand new Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.